It's time for Measure Twice.
Welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. Oof, I almost made a boo-boo there. You're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC, and we're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything, windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops at the showroom now open in Granger, next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. Did I say something wrong?
No, I'm struggling over here.
He's trying to get comfortable.
Oh, I was like, I looked over and Chris Kramer was looking at me like I had said a curse word or something.
No. Joel's just trying to. Looks like he's in pain.
Yeah, you all right over there?
I'm good.
Oh, what happened? Would you need to whittle yourself a chair out of some?
I might need to.
Some wood.
Yeah.
Get him a rocking chair. You know that's how he's going to retire, Chris, as a whittler.
Yeah. Oh, I see him at rocking chair. I don't see him in a rocking chair.
No, I don't either.
I don't see him whittling either. But that's.
Well, trust me, people would pay to watch him whittle.
I don't think so. Just whittle while you work.
We got to get Joel a Patreon account of whittling. Man whittles by lake. Man whittles by sea.
There's probably some freaks out there that would.
Oh, for sure. You're missing out on a.
He's just got to be careful with his naked room and splinters.
Yeah,
well, that's
exactly.
true. That's true.
Exactly.
That is true. Those termites will latch on to anything. So, you gotta be careful.
Hi-yo.
There's a lot of stuff I'd say.
But he won't because he has decorum.
Since when?
I truly, though, I could see him whittling. I think
he just looks like he's in back or something. He can't get comfortable.
You got the bad chair today?
No.
There's chairs in
just
this
a bad
studio.
body.
Yeah.
There are no good chairs in this studio.
That's the truth.
None. And Chris and I are of a certain stature where we need, we can't be in a low rider seat.
No, I'm of the age where I can't be in a lowrider.
You need one that helps you out.
Yeah.
All your seats are 45-degree angles, so you sit in them, and then they lower you back down. That's a pretty ingenious innovation, though.
It is, especially for the yes, absolutely.
Yes.
For those that are aging in place and want to stay, but get comfortable and get in and out of a chair easily.
Which is important. That's an important thing. Adds years to your life.
Yep.
Unless you're Hulk Hogan.
We may have had one. Who knows?
We lost some people.
We did.
Oh, my goodness. It's been a tough month to be a celebrity. I mean, some heroic people. There was a ex-Major League Baseball player died saving his family.
Oh, yes. I saw that.
It's crazy. It's nuts. Maybe, we take a moment of silence. No, we will not do that because on radio that doesn't really work.
I was going to say
John Zimney really rushing the studio. That'd be not so awesome. But I bet you're dying to find out what we're going to talk about today. I'm not telling you.
You're not telling me.
We have to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm going to do clues. It's going to be like Match Game. I'm just going to say things, and then you guys do it. But so I was thinking somebody had pointed something out this week about repairing something, and it was like whoever did it before. And I just heard a lot of that. Like, whoever did this before.
This guy, he's seen it.
Yeah, I live it.
He lives it.
Do you live it?
Yes, I do.
So, like, I'm talking. You know what I'm talking about? Like, somebody's fixed something or built something, and they just cut every corner,
or just didn't know what they were doing and didn't do it right to begin with,
or didn't know what they were doing, and that'll get you. The stuff I think when it's behind the scenes, it'll really get you. Behind the walls or under the floors. Like a plumbing. Like cutting corners in electric and plumbing should scare you.
Yeah, it should. It should.
Do you disagree? You look like you disagree, Chris.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just thinking.
He's like, how do you cut corners?
Yeah, with electric and plumbing. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, well, apparently there's ways to do it.
Really?
Yeah, you use the wrong size wire, cheaper wire.
But is that a DIY or is that a professional that didn't do it right?
Well, unfortunately, when I did my research, it is not just the DIYers. The DIYers are culprits on bad electric, 5 to 1
Yeah.
on electricians. But there are there are electricians out there who are either new or aren't into it, and they're mainly in big cities. I'll tell you that it was really clustered around like high population areas. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
your New Yorks, your LAs, Chicago, like the big cities. I'm telling you, man, I don't know what I would do if I need electric in those cities. Because like it's astounding. Now, in areas like that we live in, it's kind of low, and it's mostly in the DIY issues. But those electric issues are serious.
Yeah, it can burn your house down.
Yes, they like almost all lead to. Well, that's how they find them. I mean, maybe that's why, because if you short out something in your house and it doesn't burn down, you don't tell anybody. But there's a lot of fires that are
Electrical. Yeah, you hear about it periodically.
And usually, remember we were growing up, Chris, or maybe even you, Joel, was like the Christmas tree with 99, plugs in one outlet that just heats up. It's like that's gone down a lot. A lot.
Well, I mean, now with LED lights, like you're not drawing near it.
Yeah, it's going to say you're not drawing the electricity.
And it's kind of exposing the people that run electric in kitchens. That's like one of the most serious places. One of the most common places to get an electric fire because somebody cut a corner. But I guess I'm asking you, like, Joel, like, how would you even know if an electrician cut a corner until there's a fire? You just wouldn't know. Like,
As a homeowner?
Yeah. You just wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Are you sure? There wouldn't be signs?
When the house burnt down, there'd be signs.
Wouldn't there be, like, potentially things like air conditioning kicks on, your lights dim?
Yes.
Or
could that happen, Joel?
Refrigerator, or your electrical panel, the breakers keep popping.
Keeps popping.
So to me, those would be potential signs.
I mean, I guess you're right. Right. It seems fairly signs that something is going wrong. And we're not an electrician show, so we can't really go into things that are out of phase. Although I did learn out of phase is a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's
out of what?
Phase.
Out of phase. It's I can't. Can you explain it?
Not really.
It's like you're not grounded, and you either send current back through the ground wire or you send current back through the neutral.
Okay.
So it's bad.
Sounds bad.
And I can only talk like a caveman here. It bad. But it gets hot. Is the problem?
Okay.
Or it lights electrifies something that shouldn't be electrified.
Yeah.
And that my heater. The only reason I learned that is my furnace was wired out of phase for years.
What?
Yeah.
In the house you're in?
No.
Oh.
I was going to say, your house is pretty new.
No, now the furnace is like you plug it. It's not even. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple procedure to plug it in.
You plug in your furnace?
Not plug in, but it's not like all the wires that go down the board like my old furnace. But the switch was out of phase. So when it would switch on,
wow,
we always wondered why it would turn off very quickly. Well, it was the breaker board.
It was heating up inside it internally.
Yeah, and the board was receiving heat and shutting off. That's
a good thing.
That is a good thing. It was the guy who fixed it for us was like, it was operating the way it should be when it wasn't operating properly.
Yeah.
It was the safety measure kicked in, but the ugly world of heating and air conditioning, right? There's a lot of salespeople posing as furnace repair people. I mean, that's a thing. And you'll know.
There's that in about anything.
In anything, right. I'm not the industry. There's plenty of great HVAC people out there, so I'm not saying they're all like that. But there's a small percentage that are.
Oh yeah, you'll run across that.
Yeah, and after my second motherboard, I was like, "Can we fix what's breaking the motherboard?" I mean, this,
yeah,
many hundreds. So the next guy comes, like, "Yeah, well, this is what's going on," and he showed me he could solder He's like, if I watch, I can melt this wire on this. And he showed me.
That was an older furnace.
Yeah, it was old. It was time. It's time for me to move. But that was, you're right. That is wired badly. I don't know a lot of DIY furnace people. I really don't. Do you? I mean, that's not. Of all the things you're going to do on your own, that's one that's.
I've done it a handful of times. I wouldn't suggest it.
Yes, I mean, well, you're already handy. Like imagine you just wake up one day. It's like
it's kind of in construction, so I
would
don't really consider that DIY.
Yeah, I'm with. That's not
for me. It'd be DIY.
That's my point, Chris. That he is not. He's like, I tried that.
I was phoning a friend a lot.
I bet you were. Operators were standing by.
Phone a friend.
When we get back, let's pull the curtain back on some other corners that are cut. You shouldn't cut on Measured Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Customer Modeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. That's right, everything, windows, doors, cabinets, countertops, and the showroom is now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You could visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about cutting corners then through the lens of don't do it. And you had said something off air. You had a coal furnace that was converted to...
Oh, yeah. This a long time ago.
That would have been years ago. They wouldn't do that.
How do you... Did they convert it to electric or
gas?
To gas?
Mm-hmm. It was ginormous.
It's just a big fire. It didn't change the way the heat was made.
No, it was just like you could barbecue in it. So
that's really funny.
It was huge, absolutely, and not efficient
like
at
Satan's
all.
Closet.
Satan's Closet.
That's funny.
It was like the old Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street type.
Don't open the door. It's almost a crematorium. I mean, it was so big.
Really? Was the door still like a big coal door?
Yeah, you could open it and see the burners.
Did it still smell a little like coal?
No.
No? Because I was wondering, because coal's hard to get rid of. I mean...
it kind of lingers.
It just kind of hangs out there.
That film.
My brother's current house still has the coal heater in it, but not in operation. It was just so big.
Yeah, they'd have to dismantle it to even try to get it out.
And it was he said this was cast.
Yeah.
This was cast and put in there, and then they built around it. Yeah. So the guy's like, to get this out?
Cut it out. Yep.
Yeah.
We cut it in pieces.
We either have to cut it or cut your door, make a bigger door. He was like, okay, well, it's in the corner. It's
maybe
enormous.
You can convert it to a safe.
Yeah, maybe that'd be cool. It's enormous.
Yeah,
and it has a grate over it. They floored over the grate recently. They were using it as a aesthetic because they got like a faux brass, like kind of. But then
floor grate or the furnace?
Yeah, the floor, the furnace. Yes, they bronzed it.
They bronzed it.
And they put their initials in it. So they, in the date.
Put a plaque on it.
Yeah. That's really funny. But we were talking about electricity, and obviously DIY electricity, be careful. It's a big deal, but electricity, bad, dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you've ever seen it, just on a side note, if you've ever seen video of an electric fire behind the wall, you can't see it. You can just smell it. And then eventually when you see the smoke, it's almost too late to put it out.
Yeah.
It's really nuts.
Yeah.
But and I guess along those lines would be like running a gas line. DIY wouldn't be another one.
I would say that's probably not something you should do.
No. I think that's a close second or a dead heat with. As a matter of fact, it's a dead heat with electricity, the gas line.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I'm not talking about
that could go wrong there.
I'm not talking about putting a lamp in. Okay, like you know what I mean, like
a lamp.
Like a sconce or like a.
Oh, for electrical, you mean?
Yeah,
you're talking about wiring a house.
I'm talking about wiring.
Yeah.
Like there are certain things that it's pretty obvious that
I can switch out a sconce.
Yeah.
I can switch out a chandelier. That's pretty easy.
Black on black, white on white.
Yep.
That I'm not talking about that stuff. But gas, there's no such thing as a light gas line. Like that's fire. That's got the potential to take out a block if you really think about it. But plumbing is behind the walls, and I'm not necessarily Some of it is right. You're right.
Some of it's under your sink.
Right. Some of it is exposed somewhat. Yeah. But if somebody's cutting, I don't even know what corner you can cut in plumbing. I was trying to think of like.
Are you thinking for cutting corners or just doing DIYs that didn't go right?
Like anybody who cuts corners. Like DIYers are cutting corners because they don't necessarily know all the corners. So sometimes they're cutting one and then
doing what they think is right.
Exactly. I'm talking about actually cutting a corner, and I'm trying to think because plumbing is so physical. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know that I've ever seen an instance where plumbing they cut corners. Personally,
I mean, I can't think of anything either.
When I was doing my research, plumbing came up as the number 2 thing to not cut a corner on plumbing.
Not cutting a corner, or obviously you wouldn't want to cut corners.
You can't but they were like it's common for plumbing to get, but there was when I was doing my research. It's like you can't find any cut corners in plumbing videos. Like they don't.
I mean, maybe if you're running,
so physical.
Like maybe if you're running too small of a supply line or something.
Oh, I see. Maybe you need a bigger
your pressure.
Okay.
Or how much water you're getting to a faucet or
that
whatever.
would lower the cost if you had smaller pipe. I mean, it'll be less expensive.
I don't know.
Because generally all of this revolves around expense. Cutting a cost. Less gauge wire is a lot less expensive than.
Yeah.
I guess it would be piping. I think what they're getting at is like cheap fixtures, like cheap faucets.
But that's.
I mean, if you're not taking the time, like one of the things a lot of times, like not hanging your plumbing, like when you're running pipes, whether they're supply or drain pipes, you want those secured as they're running to and from where.
Oh, like through the.
If you don't take the time to secure those, that'd be cutting a corner, I suppose.
I could see that, Joel, because they can appear close together. Like, man, they're so close together, but they're close together for a reason.
Yeah,
because that pipe rattles a little every time water goes or vibrates, right? Doesn't it? Water goes through at a frequency.
Yeah,
and eventually it needs to have the span. You could save a lot of money on that.
Yeah, and time.
And
that's money.
But what you're doing is causing time and money at a later date.
Issues,
yeah. That would, I guess so. Oh, see, Chris, he's not a plumber, but
I play one in the evenings sometimes.
I know he's helping his son build his house, and it's
remodel.
I've
run a lot of plumbing and done a lot of electric. I haven't cut any corners.
No, you're not going to cut it either. But I guess so. In plumbing, my assumption when I was looking was, doing the research was just basically you're buying a cheaper faucet. But you're right, that the securing them. Same with electric.
I mean, a cheaper faucet will cost you in the long run because it won't last as long, but it's not going to necessarily fail in a catastrophic way.
Yeah, and I don't consider that cutting corners. I just consider that.
Sometimes it's your budget.
Right. Yeah, it takes the same amount of time. Because when we think cutting corners, we think time and money.
Yeah.
But basically cutting corners revolves basically around time, right?
A lot.
When I said that, your mind probably went to like, time, saving time, but not really doing the right thing is, it's not awesome. I think if your plumbing your corners have been cut in plumbing, you're not going to know generally until something happens, unless your basement is exposed, in which case you can look up, and see it, right? What are corners that you've seen people cut in structure? Give us an example of some stuff that maybe
inappropriate spacing for your framing.
What does that mean?
So, depending on your spans, depending on your spans for like a floor or a roof, and what you're using to frame, even with your walls, going like 24 on center rather than 16, a lot of times that's not an appropriate place to, cut a corner.
So the studs are farther apart than they should be, or the joists under
the
the
joists
house.
or the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
There's places where it's fine, and then also not having the appropriate sized header system, beams and headers, and that because those things can get costly.
Yeah, and if you get just a slightly less, but it's okay.
Yeah. You see often a lot more in like a DIY situation because people don't know.
And they don't ask an engineering question about it.
Well, they don't know who to ask.
Right.
Who do you ask? You go to Lowe's or Menards and ask somebody? They don't know. They don't even know where to find the material.
Or they say, what's a header?
Yeah. They're fine stores, ladies and gentlemen. There are good people working there.
But they have their place and their purpose, and I'll use them when I need to. But I'm not going there for advice.
Yeah, if I said trusses, right, that's one of the things that people can cut corners on, but shouldn't. You can get a less expensive truss.
Yeah, probably. I mean, typically those things have to meet code.
Oh, so code can save the day a little bit.
Yeah. Code is not a terrible thing. It's just how it's applied.
Right. If I can't get past this. Let's say your joists aren't 16 inches. Are those 16 inches also? Like floor joists?
It depends on the engineering. You can.
Oh.
I mean, I would not.
Well, let me just stop you there because we will not have enough time to do this dissertation. When we come back, let's talk about that. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors, and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. I'm talking about cutting corners, and it's not a good idea to do that. But we were in the middle of if you have a common corner cutting measure is not spacing your supports, right? So I'm talking about like joists or studs. How does that even cut a corner? I know that happens.
You use less.
Okay, so you're using less.
So it saves you money. It also saves you time because it's not as many to put in.
Right.
Everything comes back to the engineering. Sometimes things are engineered in such a way that it's called for 24 on center, but then that goes to the sizing of what if it's your joists or something like that, or where you would have beams and headers. A lot of things come back to sizing too, where people will cut corners on stud size rather than a 2x6, 2x4, 5/8 sheeting rather than 3/4. I've seen that a lot in the last year. I don't know why.
But wasn't 2x4? Wasn't that the standard for a long time, and then it kind of switched to 2x6?
Yeah.
For is 2x6 more common for framing now than
it is
for exterior walls?
For exterior walls.
Yep.
When we get into older homes, it's not uncommon to find 2x4s.
But they haven't been used for a long time.
No, it's been 40 years.
And we could go on. We could get into like nitty gritty detail of cutting corners when you're moving something. Or what were you going to say, Chris?
Well, but to Joel's point earlier, he was talking about 24-inch on center for floor joist. But you were saying too that it's appropriate if you don't have a big span. But if you have a larger span, then probably not a good idea.
What happens if you do that? What happens if your floors?
You get a large amount of what's called deflection. So everything has deflection. It's how much it will give, how much it will move up and down
as you're walking on it,
or just over time.
So your floor could feel
So
like
over
a
time,
trampoline
I don't
type?
know. Like, I have never seen one fail. I suppose it could happen depending on what's above it and the sizing. But I can think of a number of projects where we'd go in to do a remodel in a kitchen or a bathroom or whatever, and one area is way lower than the rest. Or so, like, maybe the perimeter's higher, and in the middle it's sunk way down.
Oh, you'll see sag. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there's nothing. There's
Well,
not.
your eye won't necessarily catch it, but as you're starting to level things and figure out how things are running, you'll see a big swale in the middle.
They're like, we can't play Chinese checkers in that room.
Yeah.
You take a pencil and it rolls, or a marble and it goes towards the center.
Yeah.
A pile of bowling balls in the middle. I
Yeah.
mean, like
Or like the not carrying weight appropriately to a footer. We've run into that quite a bit too.
are there not just like a hard segue here? Because coming up we have Todd Steiger
Yes.
from
One and only.
the one and only from Indiana Landmarks coming in a little bit. But are there corners that people cut in design, Chris? This is like
Cheap fabric.
Now, I mean, in the design itself,
yeah,
cut corners.
Like how do you save time in design that is cutting corners not proper?
I'm just trying to think. I don't know how you can cut corners in actual
couldn't either.
design.
When I had this topic for the show, I was like, I'm leaving Chris out.
You can cut. I mean,
But-
I can't
but-
because again, there are guidelines that we have to follow for and codes and things of that nature that we have to follow. So there's not all we can do is design it on paper and present it. But I don't know how you would cut corners in design.
Right, it's hard because it's right, it's there. I you know who I could see cutting?
Well, there's a difference between cutting corners and
Cutting cost.
yeah,
yeah, and I'm really talking about cutting corners, like
bringing things down,
making things like in a that cutting corners to me like show something was rushed, or they
there
didn't,
wasn't any care put into it.
right.
Well, that's I guess you could slap something together that's not appropriate. A good design.
When I looked this up,
That's not
the
typically.
example I found was a designer was talking about like it can be cutting a corner if you go too themed. Then it's kind of lazy. Like you can go, oh, we're
Wait.
beach themed, so I'm putting all seagulls in here and I'm not worrying about it.
Yeah.
Or like that's my example,
Why
not
would
her
anybody
example.
want seagulls?
Not her example, but she was saying like, yeah, like when she's a this person was but did show homes for a living in
Florida.
in some town. Well, no, in some town, and she's like, yeah, when you get over themed, it's like
I guess
it's lazy.
I guess you could cut corners by doing the same design for multiple people,
A designer could.
and that happens.
Oh, you can get like
I'm going to do the same fabrics, the same furniture, and all this.
you get something that works. Quote
Yeah, I'm
unquote.
going to.
That's why Chris asks you who you know.
No, no. I mean,
so and so.
I've heard of stories where that's happened with a designer did that for multiple people, and they went into and some of them ended up being friends, and they went in and said, "I have the exact same design,
Well, and I think that's
furniture, everything, fabrics down to the fabrics, everything."
that's legit. That's a legit cutting a corner.
Yes, it
because-
is.
Because
my flaw, you do not repeat.
Well, everybody's their own person, right? I mean,
Yeah,
now obviously
but
you're gonna
some
have to
people who rely on their designer to make the decisions, and
and
don't-
then that's it. You
and
don't
that's
know.
it. And it's like but that's not the way it should be.
Even if you were in a different city.
Even if you're in a different city, the designer is. I mean, some designers have a look, and that's what the client wants is that look. But still, it's should be tailored to you,
Right.
in your home.
Right. You're saying when they
It's
have
not that there won't be some overlap, right?
Right.
It's just that to be almost identical.
Like, oh yeah, I'm going to use the same rug in every design I do. No,
No, or even worse, when you have a space, you just duplicate.
yeah, you don't do that.
But that's definitely, I bet that exists more than we think.
That's cutting corners. That's yeah.
Yeah, I could. Everybody's into horses now. I don't know. Like, that always freaks me out when people are too themey. You walk in and it's like, you really like stars, or seashells. Ooh, like
Butterflies.
Yeah. If somebody really likes something so much that every place you look there is one, that gives me the willies. Even if it's something as innocent as a butterfly, it's like they're just everywhere. They're just
An obsessive personality.
But you must run into that a lot, Chris.
What? It's all
people are kind of obsessed about a thing like
not really
like mushrooms.
Not really. Frogs. My frog collection. I really most people, our clients don't have that type of.
They'll have mementos, right?
Oh, yeah.
They won't have. It's not like a.
And I like that when they have mementos or things they've collected over travel, and I always like to, for accessorizing, use what they have. Maybe they have something in a cabinet that they haven't used or don't think about, and pull it out and just rearrange things. So,
right.
But I can't think of anybody that has a real. You walk in and went, oh, I know what they like.
I've been there though. I've been there.
Have you?
My goodness. Mushrooms. That's the one that stands out. Mushrooms. Like little mushrooms and
everywhere.
Ugh. It was not good. The frog was a thing too, but I've not seen that everywhere.
And then once all your friends and family know you have a
and then
theme,
you get them.
Then you keep getting them.
All right, well, I'm going to get out of the way because next segment we have the one, the only Todd Zeiger coming in. So stay tuned.
Drum roll.
Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We are brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops with the showroom now open in Granger, next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You could visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. And we have he needs no introduction, so I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm just kidding. Todd Zeiger from Indiana Landmarks is here.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes, we've got quite the project that he's working directly with Measure Twice on, called the Pellador House.
Pellador House, absolutely.
Pellador.
In South Bend. Yeah.
I say Pellador. It's the New Jersey in me, man. I'm sorry.
Tomato.
Yeah. Pellador House. And, we're going to do a lot of updates on this, just FYI for the listeners. It's our project. That should culminate sometime in May.
Next May.
Yeah, next May.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to take a minute, but if you wouldn't mind, give us a quick, brief rundown on the Pellador House in your 2-minute version, and then let's talk about updates.
The elevator speech on a rehab project. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Let me start the timer. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Go. It's exciting. Things always, ebb and flow, and you get spurts and fits of excitingness and then nothing. But going great. Mason has finished up the exterior, knitting back the bricks that were kind of shaken loose and were needing to be put back in place. So that's been done. The exterior has all been knitted back. The stucco on the water table on the bottom, which is just this little bit of detail on the bottom of the house that helps it connect to the ground, is all completed as well. Did a great job and just kind of gives it feet. So that's exciting because now when you drive by, it just looks all tidy and nice and neat. And Mason's good. Masonry is great. We had a volunteer group a couple months ago come in, planted 1,200 plugs for the native landscaping in the front yard in 2 hours.
Yeah, it's extraordinary.
It is looking great. Spalding Restorations did that work, and a group of volunteers from the neighborhood and others, Botany, helped us on that. And we planted a bunch of plugs, and it just really transformed the front of the house. That native, we're going back instead of lawn. It's a little bit unusual, but instead of lawn, we're doing a whole native landscape in the front, all the way around the side of the house, and of course the back will have a yard for your dog or whatnot in the future. But that's starting to establish, and we're really glad it's survived so far through the heat of the summer and a lot of water.
And the tremendous downpours those poor little plants had to withstand.
We are thankful for the rain, even though it's always a challenge to plant plugs and then have it get 95 degrees and 100 degrees. But so that's looking great, so it really from the outside looks, I think, like it's been there forever. And I've had a lot of people say that, man, you can't even tell it was moved in, which is the great compliment,
it's
right?
Pretty cool.
For sure.
I've run into people who live in that neighborhood that I never knew lived in that neighborhood, and they were excited to have the Pellador house moved to that lot. First of all, they did not like the lot.
Yeah,
It was.
Parking lot, right?
whenever you can take
excited.
a giant asphalt nothing and turn it into something, that's always a positive. I call it the preservationist's ultimate revenge to put a historic house on a parking lot, because usually it goes the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah.
So it's always refreshing to have that said. Oh, my God, it looks like it's always been there, or people come up Portage if they're coming into South Bend, and it really holds that corner. And
It announces the neighborhood. I didn't know how else to put it.
that's an interesting way to say it, yeah.
It really does do that. It lets you know you're in a certain neighborhood, not in a snooty way. That sounded snooty.
No,
but
it didn't.
you're in a certain neighborhood. It is really a landmark house. I mean,
Yeah, it is,
seriously.
and it benefits from the fact that at Portage there it turns into William, and there's a little turn, and so it's in architectural terms, it's kind of the it's that end of that view shed coming down Portage now as you're coming into town. That that road turns right there,
Right.
and so you get even an expanded view of it as you're coming in. So it checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
I'm not. I got to come clean. When you were describing the landscape to me, I was like, "Oh, brother," I really was. I was like, "Oh my goodness, what is?" When you said natural, like I'm like, "Oh, what are we gonna have here? This is just gonna be." It's absolutely stunning. It's cool.
So you were thinking it was going to look like the side of the bypass.
Kinda. No, I knew he wasn't going to do
Maybe with
something
less
like
trash.
that. I'm not trying to insult that. I didn't look like it was going to be like adopt a highway type thing. That's not what I meant. What I meant was I thought it was going to look unkempt. Because sometimes when you hear native, really the translation in a lot of places to a lot of people is, I just don't have to do anything to this.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not the case. It is definitely a great use of native plants. Like, it's so neat.
Yeah, and that the firm company battles that all the time because people drive by the naturalized landscape that people have tried to do on their own or haven't really thought about it, and it looks like that. We've all seen it.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to hide a Chevy.
Yeah, and so either intentionally or not intentionally. And so part of the intention in that regard is to show how it can be done in a good way. And for this particular house, we've talked about the style. Arts and crafts and craftsmen really also lend themselves to this sort of a look too.
Yeah.
Right.
It feels right for the house too. It's also a great way to go, so you don't have to mow.
It is, but it's like it is tidy. It's not untidy. You know,
Right,
like
no,
it's
it looks intentional,
right.
and that's a big.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't look like you did it on purpose, it's kind of weird. We're talking about the Pellador house, God, I keep putting a name. Pellador house, which is where is it? It's the corner of
Portage, William, and Navarre.
Yeah, they all kind of meet right there. And if you're driving, what is that, north from the city, it's pretty cool. It's cool the other way, but like when you're going out of it because of the road turns, it kind of, that angle of that house is pretty special. And is that a bigger style house than normal for arts and crafts?
It's designed because it's long towards the front, and so it presents itself bigger square footage wise. It's probably 1,600 square feet on a floor, so it's not obscenely large. But the way that it's designed, it has its front on a long kind of towards the street, so it just really presents itself very well on that corner and helps give it a lot of presence. I think both where it was and where it's at now.
Right, it appears bigger than it probably, but it's big when you go in. It's not a small house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it small, but when you think arts and crafts, you don't think like it. It just seems bigger than what I'm used to looking at.
Thinking of bungalow though, or
Some of those smaller
smaller ones.
Maybe I am thinking. Maybe that's my experience with seeing more of those than.
They come in all different sizes, all different square footages.
Yeah, and so speaking of the inside this week, last 2 weeks, we've had volunteers in, which is a huge part of Landmark's work. We love volunteers, especially to do the things that contractors don't like to do. I don't pull out the little staples from the carpet padding and D-nail trim that we've taken off the wall that when Joel comes in, he frowns having to reuse if the nails are so. Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Alumni Association Family Camp came in. Great group. I've worked with them for years. And we had 15, 16 people 2 weeks in a row, so 32 people.
It's a lot of man hours.
You know, about a week, about 2 weeks worth of time if you wanted to put it into person time. You figure 16, they were there about 4.5 hours, so we can do the math. I can't do it that fast in my head. But anyways, significant, and especially because they do things that it would be really expensive to hire done, because contractors give you I'll do it if you pay me this much, but I don't really want to do it price.
Right.
And so we've got all the trim de-nailed. We've got it was like a wallpaper tornado in there. All the wallpaper's off the wall.
So just a time out, we're talking with Todd Zeiger from Indiana Landmarks about Palador House. You said it was a wallpaper tornado. What was the state of the wall behind the walls
then behind are plaster, and they are in remarkable condition.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
I was surprised. I was there earlier this week, and there's going to be cracks, especially having been moved. But even with that, it is in really good shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some cracks here and there, but they're really probably pre-move, just normal stuff. And then we've got all the demo done, so all the walls that we wanted to get out of the way to create the new floor plan is out and cleaned up, and just a couple more minor things to open up for the plumber. So we're really set for kind of the next step, which is putting it back, and we couldn't have gotten done as far and fast as we did without that family camp, and we just are so appreciative of them, and they came and worked really hard. So yeah, that's where we are on the update.
Chris, on the wallpaper thing, would you put wallpaper back up on that?
Minimally.
Yeah.
Like an accent or
bathroom, something like that, but I don't see wallpapering the hall. I'd paint.
Yeah. Is that the feeling, Todd, in there?
People who have removed carpeting off their hardwood floors and people who have removed wallpaper off their walls never do either of them again. You learn what's under carpet, even though you try and keep a tidy house, and you learn how hard it is to take wallpaper off walls.
I hate to do this to you, but we have like 15 to 30 seconds left. What's the next thing?
Next thing is a series of workshops on heritage trades that we've got set up for the fall to track how to fix your old windows, how to do work on your old floors, etc. So,
and they should go
Indiana
to your
Landmarks,
website.
IndianaLandmarks.org.
Thanks for listening. Thanks, Todd, for being in here. Go to IndianaLandmarks.org, and we'll see you next time on Measure Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.